5 rich boys thought locking a waitress in Pizza Hut after hours made her powerless. But Harper wasn't prey. She was a survivor. With ice in her voice, she revealed the truth. They murdered her father, a lawyer, and left her for dead in the car they ran off the bridge. For 2 years, she gathered evidence. Then she showed them her weapon, a countdown timer. If it hit 0, proof of their crimes and cartel ties would hit the FBI and CNN. Panic set in. Their leader called his father, only for Harper to play a recording of him ordering the hit. Sirens wailed outside. As cops stormed in, Harper stood tall. The boys were finished, their empire burned. The hunter became the hunted, and revenge was served cold. As the sun began to set over the bustling city, 5 rich boys sat in a dimly lit Pizza Hut restaurant, sipping their drinks and discussing plans for an evening of high-stakes heist. The air was thick with tension as each member of the group, Tommy, Jack, Jake, Michael, and Tyler, reluctantly agreed to participate in one last daring mission: steal a valuable artifact from a rival cartel's headquarters. The target at hand? A massive diamond ring rumored to have been lost by their leader, who was said to possess it with unimaginable power. The group knew the risks involved, but they couldn't resist the allure of the coin's immense value and the opportunity to take down their ruthless enemies once and for all. As they settled into a booth at the back corner, Tommy watched as his friends sipped their drinks and made their way across the restaurant, each one deep in conversation. Their faces were etched with determination, but beneath it, there was something unsettlingly eerie. It felt like an ominous presence lurking just out of sight. Suddenly, Jack stood up from his seat and motioned for everyone to follow him towards a back door that had been concealed behind the counter. As they approached, Tommy noticed a small window opening on one side of the room, revealing a dimly lit hallway beyond. "Guys, look over there," Jack whispered urgently. "We have to go through that." Tommy's eyes widened as he peered down into the darkness, his heart pounding in his chest. The other boys seemed hesitant at first, but soon followed suit, their footsteps echoing along the narrow corridor as they made their way towards a door labeled with an ominous symbol. As they approached, Tommy could hear the sound of voices growing louder and more urgent from outside. Suddenly, he heard the unmistakable click of the metal doorknob, and the group burst into action at once. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Tom tried to push open the heavy door, but was met with a loud crash as it shattered against the concrete wall. The others rushed inside, their hands grabbing for anything that might have fallen on the ground. Tommy's heart sank as he realized they had been targeted by an unexpected enemy. It wasn't until they stumbled upon a hidden room in the back of the building that they discovered the truth about their leader and his empire. /I'm_start, INT. Pizza Hut. Night 5 rich boys, Jason, 25, Lucas, 18, Gregorius, 30, Maximus, 24, and Taylor, 26, stood at the counter, sipping their beers while watching a lively group of patrons enter and exit. The room was dimly lit with only candles flickering on tables set for 4. As they approached the door labeled "locking" with an ominous symbol, Jason turned to his friends. "Jason, guys, we have to go through that." "Lucas, what's happening?" "Gregorius, I heard something outside. Maybe it's our leader or someone trying to take over." "Maximus, don't worry, we've got this," he said confidently as the others nodded in agreement. The boys pushed their way past a row of empty tables towards a door labeled "Enter," with an even more ominous symbol than before. The heavy metal door creaked open, and they cautiously made their way inside, their footsteps echoing along the dimly lit corridor. Suddenly, Jason heard the sound of voices growing louder and more urgent from outside. As they approached the room where their leader was keeping his empire, Tommy's heart sank as he realized they had been targeted by an unexpected enemy. The door to the secret room behind the counter creaked open, revealing a dark and twisted space filled with stacks of money, weapons, and other items that suggested this wasn't just any ordinary gang. "Taylor, what are you doing in here?" Gregorius stepped forward, his eyes scanning the room for anything suspicious. "We need to find out who's behind this," he replied calmly, his voice carrying across the room. Maximus approached and took a step closer. He raised his hand as if to indicate their intention, but quickly dropped it when he spotted something on one of the shelves. "Jason, what is that?" Gregorius turned to Jason with a steely gaze before pointing towards an ornate gold watch hanging from a wall hook, its chains jingling in the darkness. "That's our leader," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We have to get rid of it." The boys exchanged glances and nodded in agreement as they approached the watch. They carefully picked up the watch from the shelf, their fingers fusing together in a hold that felt both secure and threatening. "Let's go find him," Jason said, his voice low but urgent. "We can't let this get out." Lucas stepped forward, his eyes scanning the room for any other potential threats or escape routes. "What if he doesn't want us to leave?" Gregorius raised an eyebrow and smiled darkly before speaking. "Gone?" he replied simply, as if it were a statement rather than advice. The boys nodded in agreement, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They crept through the dark corridor towards the leader's hideout, avoiding any potential security guards or traps that might be lying in wait on the way. As they approached the entrance to the secret room, they could hear the sound of footsteps growing louder and closer behind them. Suddenly, Jason felt a hand grip his shoulder from behind him, causing his heart to race as he tried not to scream out loud. "Taylor, what's going on?" Jason hesitated for only an instant before speaking, his voice shaking with fear. "The leader has caught us," Jason whispered, his breath coming in short gasps. "He wants you all gone." Maximus stepped forward and raised his hand once again, as if to indicate their intention, but quickly dropped it when he saw something on the ground that seemed out of place. "Check this," Maximus said, holding up a small piece of paper with an unfamiliar symbol etched onto its surface. "This is our new home." The boys looked at the paper and froze in disbelief as they realized what was written: "Alliance with the one true power." Gregorius stepped forward and took a step closer to Jason. "Gone," he said firmly, his voice resounding across the room. "You're no longer an ally of our leader." Jason's heart sank as he felt the weight of their betrayal on his shoulders. He knew that they were about to embark on a dangerous journey, one that would lead them deeper into the dark underbelly of society. As they entered the secret room, they could hear the sound of whispers and murmurs growing louder from within. They searched for any signs of the one true power's presence, but found nothing more than stacks of money and weapons scattered throughout the space. Despite their best efforts to stay hidden, Jason couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched by an unseen force. Suddenly, the door creaked open once again, revealing a figure standing in front of them. It was the one true power himself, his eyes filled with anger and determination as he glared down at the boys. "The one true power, you have betrayed me," he growled, his voice shaking with rage. Jason's heart raced as he tried to keep calm, but knew that this moment would define their fate. "We've been fighting for our rights and freedom since day one," Jason said, his voice low and steady. "But now you're trying to take it from us." The one true power raised a hand in front of him, blocking the boy's path with a sharp knife. "You will never see your children again," the one true power snarled. Jason's heart sank as he realized that their chances of survival were slim. But then, something unexpected happened. A group of figures appeared out of nowhere, and they quickly surrounded the leader, forming a defensive wall around him. The boys' panic turned to determination as they fought for their lives against the one true power and his army of loyal followers. They used every weapon at their disposal, from guns to knives, in an attempt to defend themselves and each other. As they battled on, Jason could feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins, fueling him with a fierce determination that he had never experienced before. He fought for survival not only because it was his right, but also because he believed in their cause and wanted nothing more than to see justice restored to society. In an epic struggle against the one true power and his followers, the boys' bravery paid off when they managed to outmaneuver them and emerge victorious. They emerged from the secret room battered, bruised, and bloodied but alive, a testament to their strength and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. As they made their way back through the dark corridor towards the exit, Jason couldn't help but feel grateful for their journey so far. It had been a long and difficult road, filled with challenges and obstacles at every turn, but it had also taught them valuable lessons about courage, loyalty, and selflessness. They knew that the fight wasn't over yet. They would have to face the one true power again in his own territory if they wanted to restore hope for their community. But as they walked out of Pizza Hut, they couldn't help but feel a sense of determination and resolve that would carry them through whatever lay ahead. As they continued on their way towards the next chapter in this epic tale, the boys knew that they had taken an important step forward, not only against the one true power, but also against the very system that was supposed to protect them. But with each passing day, they were becoming more and more convinced that, together, they could overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting it may seem. The global outline: 1. 5 wealthy boys, each with their own stakes in the community's economy and power dynamics, believed locking a pizza delivery girl at Pizza Hut after hours to be an act of intimidation. 2. They had been warned about the one true power, a mysterious figure who was rumored to hold immense control over various sectors and wield dangerous powers that threatened the stability of society. 3. The boys were determined to put an end to this fear by exposing their target's true identity and bringing down his reign of terror. This quest would be fraught with danger, as they navigated treacherous territories controlled by the one true power and met numerous obstacles along the way. 4. Their journey began in a bustling city where pizza parlors dotted every corner, serving up delicious treats to eager customers. Jason, one of the boys, had grown up near Pizza Hut, having been a frequent patron himself as he'd watched his parents work there for years. He knew firsthand how their business was vital to the community's economy and its residents' livelihoods. 5. One fateful night, while working late hours at Pizza Hut, Jason encountered a young woman named Lily who had just delivered her takeout order. As she approached the exit, he noticed something strange about her demeanor. She seemed lost and disoriented, as if searching for something crucial or desperate. 6. Curiosity piqued, Jason decided to investigate further. He walked towards her and asked her what was happening. To his surprise, Lily revealed that the one true power had been watching her since the night before and had taken notice of her unusual behavior. She explained that she had stumbled upon a hidden secret about Pizza Hut's operations. They were in league with an underground criminal organization known as the League, which specialized in illegal activities such as drug trafficking, money laundering, and arms dealing. 7. Intrigued by the revelation, Jason knew he couldn't let this go unchecked. He confronted the one true power himself, demanding to know about their connection to Pizza Hut's operations and what they were planning next. However, the one real power was a calculating individual with an almost invincible grasp of power that seemed impossible for anyone to challenge. 8. Despite his best efforts to reason with him, The one true power refused to reveal the truth or cooperate in any way. Instead, he lashed out at Jason and ordered him into hiding, telling him that if he revealed their involvement, Pizza Hut would be destroyed entirely, leaving nothing but ashes behind for anyone who dared challenge them. 9. With nowhere else to turn, Jason turned to the other boys for help. They understood his plight and joined forces with Lily's knowledge of the League's operations to devise a plan to take down their leader once and for all. 10. As they set out on this dangerous journey, they encountered various obstacles that tested their resolve and loyalty to one another. They fought off fierce gangsters hired by the one true power, navigating treacherous alleyways filled with hidden dangers and traps. Along the W.I., they discovered clues about Pizza Hut's operations and its relationship with the League, revealing a web of lies, deceit, and corruption that threatened not only their community, but also their very lives. 11. As they got closer to their target, the one true power revealed his true identity as the Shadow, a mastermind behind the criminal organization known as Black Hand. He had been hiding in plain sight for years, using Pizza Hut's influence and resources to maintain control over various sectors while remaining shrouded from public scrutiny. 12. In an epic showdown, the Shadow team engaged the one true power in a fierce battle that raged across the city streets. With their combined skills and experience as skilled fighters, the boys managed to gain the upper hand against the Shadow and his gang of loyal followers. 13. However, the battle was far from over as they discovered that the Shadow's true objective wasn't just to eliminate Pizza Hut, but also to take control of a powerful weapon known only to him, a massive machine capable of unleashing devastating destruction upon any obstacle in their path. 14. As they fought for survival and ultimately succeeded in defeating the Shadow, the boys found themselves on the brink of victory. However, their triumph was short-lived as they discovered that the Shadow had planned an elaborate plan to escape and lay low before retaking control over Pizza Hut once again. 15. With no choice but to risk everything, including themselves, Jason led a team of skilled fighters back into the city, determined to track down the Shadow's whereabouts and bring him to justice one last time. 16. They discovered that he had fled to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, hidden away from prying eyes and surrounded by powerful security measures designed to prevent any attempt at rescue or detection. 17. Using their combined knowledge of the cityscape and the League's operations, they embarked on a thrilling chase through dark alleys, navigating treacherous passageways filled with deadly traps and obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. 18. In one final desperate effort, Jason managed to outsmart the Shadow and his team by infiltrating their secret base and eliminating the key figure responsible for maintaining its operation. 19. With control of the League secured once again, the boys returned to Pizza Hut, where they faced off against the one true power in a climactic battle that would determine the fate of the community once more. 20. In a brutal showdown filled with intense action and suspense, Jason emerged victorious once again, delivering his target's true identity as the Phantom, who had been secretly plotting to take over Pizza Hut for years but never dared reveal their plans to anyone except the Shadow. 21. With the Phantom defeated, the boys finally succeeded in restoring hope for their community by exposing their secret involvement with the League and bringing down its reign of terror once and for all. 22. In a fitting conclusion, Jason's bravery and determination had not only saved Pizza Hut from destruction, but also earned them respect, admiration, and gratitude among the local residents, who were now determined to rebuild their beloved community together as one cohesive unit. 23. As they left Pizza Hut behind, The boys knew that this epic tale was far from over, but with their newfound unity and resolve, they had proven that even in the darkest of times, courage, loyalty, and selflessness can triumph against all odds, no matter how daunting the challenge may seem. Global outline. Asterisk 5 rich boys, who had always been known for their ruthless pursuit of wealth and power, felt invincible after a successful heist at Pizza Hut. They claimed that locking the waitress in one of the restaurant's hidden storage rooms was enough to secure their future. Asterisk the community once more found itself under threat when whispers began circulating about the Phantom, an enigmatic figure who had been planning a mysterious and powerful scheme for years, with a plan to take over Pizza Hut. Jason, the leader of the group, became increasingly suspicious of these rumors and was determined to uncover his true identity. Asterisk with the Phantom's mastermind in place, the boys decided that it would be best to strike while they were still ahead. They planned an elaborate heist with a diverse team of skilled criminals, including former pizza chefs, secret agents, and tech experts who shared their expertise in counterfeiting, surveillance, and hacking. Asterisk on the night of the robbery, Jason led his group into Pizza Hut's kitchen to execute their plan. As they made their way through the crowded restaurant, they carefully selected an unmarked car that was parked outside for safekeeping. The team consisted of 6 individuals, each with a unique role in the operation. 1. Omar Khoury, a master chef who had worked at Pizza Hut for years and was skilled in crafting delectable pizzas. 2. Sarah, a former secret agent and tech expert who specialized in hacking devices to bypass security systems and capture surveillance footage of the Phantom's movements. 3. David, an experienced thief known for his quick thinking and cunning tactics. 4. Rachel, the brainchild behind the heist, with a talent for coordinating and executing complex operations. 5. Mike, the muscle who was responsible for securing the getaway car and protecting himself from potential threats. 6. Alex, a tech-savvy hacker who played a crucial role in deciphering encrypted messages sent by the Phantom's associates during their planning meetings. As they crept into Pizza Hut, Jason led his team through the dimly lit restaurant, evading security cameras and avoiding detection. They moved quickly to retrieve the stolen ingredients from storage rooms, including rare cheese, fresh mozzarella, and gourmet meats. With each item collected in hand, Omar Khoury prepared a masterpiece of pizza, using recipes passed down by generations within their family. The group worked tirelessly until they had crafted several dozen pizzas that would be perfect for their elaborate heist. The moment the plan was set in motion, Sarah utilized her hacking skills to decode the encrypted messages sent from the Phantom's associates during their planning meetings. She deciphered the code and quickly shared its contents with the team. Once we successfully complete our mission, a massive explosion will occur within 24 hours, followed by a coordinated attack on Pizza Hut's main headquarters in downtown New York City. Omar Khoury understood the gravity of the situation immediately. He knew that this would be their chance to bring down the League and restore peace to the community once and for all. With David leading the way into the kitchen, Omar Khoury led his team towards the storage room where they had been storing the stolen ingredients. As they approached the area, Rachel spotted a group of security cameras in place and quickly made an emergency call to Jason. "Mike, we need you to take cover immediately." Mike sprang into action, using his quick reflexes to duck behind the pizza pans as David and Sarah opened the storage room doors. They then triggered a series of alarm systems that sent out loud beeps and sirens throughout Pizza Hut. Jason quickly assessed the situation and realized that they were in grave danger. The security guards had been alerted by one of the alarms, but due to their location within the restaurant's kitchen, It was unlikely for them to respond before the explosion occurred. As he evaluated his options, Rachel called upon Mike. "Mike, can you create a distraction while I distract the security guards?" Mike nodded and quickly grabbed a large backpack filled with essential tools from the dining room. He then approached the group of security cameras, causing chaos by shaking down each one in turn. In this critical moment, Omar Khoury executed his plan flawlessly. Using the stolen ingredients to make explosives, he detonated them simultaneously at 3 points within Pizza Hut's main headquarters: the kitchen, a nearby conference room, and an adjacent parking garage. The blast sent debris flying through the walls of the building, causing chaos and panic among security guards who had been caught off guard. As the smoke cleared and in the darkened hallways, Rachel was able to make contact with Jason. "Jason, we've successfully taken down the League and have their leader arrested." Jason's heart raced as he realized that his team had succeeded beyond all expectations. He couldn't believe that they had been able to carry out such a daring plan against an elusive figure who seemed almost invincible. With the security guards now on their feet and chaos in progress, Jason gathered the remaining members of his group and made their escape from Pizza Hut's premises. As they drove away, Rachel thanked her team for their bravery. "Mike, you were genius. You distracted the security RDS with your distraction skills, which allowed us to take advantage of this unexpected opportunity." Mike grinned triumphantly as he handed over a small electronic device that contained a detailed map and GPS coordinates. "We couldn't have done it without our tech-savvy friend." With their mission accomplished, Jason's team returned home safely. The news of the heist spread quickly throughout the community, igniting an intense debate about who should take credit for the successful operation. As the weeks went by, the residents of Pizza Hut began to rebuild their beloved establishment once again. With a newfound sense of unity and determination, they worked tirelessly to ensure that everyone was safe and happy in their new home. In the end, it became clear that Jason's bravery and leadership had not only saved Pizza Hut from destruction, but also earned them respect, admiration, and gratitude among the local residents. Their epic tale would live on as a testament to courage, loyalty, and selflessness, serving as an inspiration for generations to come who were determined to overcome any obstacle that stood in their way, no matter how daunting it seemed. Global outline: *5 wealthy boys, including Mike, Jason, Alex, Sarah, and Jack, had been planning a heist for weeks. Each member of the gang was an expert in their field, with unique skills and resources at their disposal. The plan involved robbing Pizza Hut after hours to gather valuable stolen goods and make off with thousands of dollars worth of cash. They knew that the restaurant's security measures were tight due to its high-profile location and popularity among locals and tourists alike. As they meticulously planned, they decided to use their tech-savvy friend, Jason, as a key figure in the operation. He had developed an intricate system for tracking the restaurant's movements using GPS coordinates and real-time monitoring software. Mike, who worked at a high-tech company specializing in surveillance technology, was tasked with providing the electronic device that would guide the group to their target location. It contained detailed maps of Pizza Hut's layout, including its parking garage, loading dock, kitchen, and dining area. He also included GPS coordinates for all the key points they needed to reach. With Jason's help, the team assembled in a secluded warehouse on the outskirts of town, where they had prepared everything necessary for their heist. They huddled around Mike's device as it pinged with information about Pizza Hut's routines and potential entry points. As daylight began to set, the gang split into 3 groups. Jason and Alex led one team to carry out a surprise raid on the loading dock, Sarah and Jack were assigned to monitor the restaurant from inside, while Mike remained at headquarters to oversee their operations remotely. The team arrived at Pizza Hut just before closing time, with Jason's group quickly infiltrating the restaurant through an unlocked back door. They made their way up to the top floor where they discovered several security cameras positioned strategically around the dining area and loading dock. With a burst of adrenaline coursing through their veins, the gang silently approached the camera feeds, carefully selecting which one captured the moment when they could make their move. Jason used his knowledge of Pizza Hut's layout to lead them towards an entry point that was less visible from above. The group made quick work of stealing cash and valuable items from various cabinets and drawers in the loading dock before sneaking past security guards who had been patrolling around the building. As they fled through the exit, they were pursued by a pair of heavily armed police officers who had arrived on the scene to investigate the crime. With their plan foiled, Jason's team quickly made their way back home via an abandoned alleyway, where they managed to avoid detection and make it safely across town. They carefully unloaded all the stolen goods into several bags before heading towards a nearby house for cover, while Mike monitored the situation from headquarters. As night fell over the neighborhood, Sarah and Jack returned to Pizza Hut with their loot in hand, but this time armed with weapons they had obtained through illegal means. They approached the restaurant's management office and demanded to speak with its owner, Omar Khoury. The owner was initially reluctant to engage them, as he believed that the police were involved in the crime and might come after him if they returned empty-handed. However, Sarah threatened that she would harm anyone who interfered with their operation or revealed their identity, forcing Omar Khoury into a meeting at once. In the dimly lit room, Jason explained their plan to Omar Khoury, sharing details about their tracking device, GPS coordinates, and their reasoning for robbing Pizza Hut in such a high-profile location. He emphasized that they had done this out of necessity as they needed money to fund their next venture, but he also acknowledged the potential consequences if it fell through. Omar Khoury was taken aback by Jason's statement, but decided not to take any chances and agreed to let them carry out their plans. He provided them with a list of items worth stealing from Pizza Hut and instructed them on how to safely retrieve them without raising suspicion. With the thief team now equipped, they returned to the warehouse where Mike remained as backup, ensuring that no one would interfere or suspect them. As the night wore on, tensions between Jason's gang and Omar Khoury grew heated, with each member expressing their frustrations and demands for compensation for the stolen goods. After hours of negotiations, a compromise was reached. The owner agreed to give Jason's team $50,000 in exchange for their release from custody. They were given permission to take off on their getaway at midnight, but they had to be back by dawn to collect the money and return the stolen goods. The group packed up their bags, thanked Omar Khoury for his cooperation, and headed out into the night sky, eager to begin their journey towards financial freedom. With Jason's leadership and the support of Mike's tech-savvy device, they were confident that this heist would not only bring them wealth, but also a newfound sense of purpose and accomplishment. As they flew away from Pizza Hut, the gang couldn't help but reflect on the challenges they had faced and the lessons they learned throughout their quest for success. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were determined to continue striving towards their dreams and leaving an indelible mark in this small town. The days turned into weeks, months, and even years since their heist. As time passed, Jason's gang became legends among the locals, with some even naming them as the Pizza Hacking Team for their daring and innovative approach to robbery. Their story inspired others to pursue their passions despite the risks involved, reminding everyone that success requires hard work determination, and a willingness to take calculated risks in order to achieve one's goals. In the end, Jason Gang had proven beyond doubt that even the most ambitious dreams can be realized if they are executed with skill, strategy, and courage. Their epic heist served as a testament to their resilience, bravery, and selflessness, inspiring countless others to overcome any obstacle in their lives and chase their own versions of success. And so, on this beautiful day, the pizza hacking team had emerged victorious from one of life's greatest challenges, leaving behind a legacy that would live on as an enduring tale of triumph over adversity. Global outline: 5 rich boys, known as the pizza hacking team, believed that locking a waitress in Pizza Hut after hours would make her powerless. This bold and daring scheme had been their dream for years, but when they finally decided to pull it off, they faced immense challenges. The town of Millfield was small and tight-knit, with its residents primarily farmers and laborers who lived lives of hard work and modesty. As the gang arrived at Pizza Hut on a hot summer evening, they quickly made their way inside without causing any suspicion or drawing attention to themselves. They carefully picked the server's lock, knowing that it would be her only weakness in an otherwise secure establishment. Once inside, Jason's team began searching for the waitress, who was working behind the cash register and had been out of town visiting family. The gang members split up into teams, with one leading the way to a hidden room where they hoped she might still be hiding away. Another group focused on gathering evidence to identify her identity, while another duo managed to sneak in unnoticed as backup. As the hours passed, tensions began to rise within the team due to their shared goal of escaping without being caught by the staff or customers. Jason, the leader, remained calm and composed, always keeping a watchful eye out for any potential threats that might arise. He knew that time was running short, as they had only until midnight to retrieve the waitress before she could escape undetected. The gang members worked tirelessly in their respective teams, each using their unique skills to gather information about the server's routines and habits. They monitored her movements throughout the night, keeping an eye on any signs of vulnerability or distress that might suggest a plan to leave early. Meanwhile, they searched for hidden compartments, listening intently for sounds like footsteps, voices, or other potential alarms. As midnight approached, Jason made his way through the dimly lit warehouse where he had first spotted her. He knew it was crucial that she remained quiet and unassuming in this unfamiliar environment to avoid detection. The gang members quickly closed ranks behind him, making ready for their final confrontation with the waitress. With a sudden burst of adrenaline coursing through their veins, Jason launched himself at the server, using his bare hands to unlock her locked cell phone and pull it out from beneath the table. As he did so, he heard her scream in terror, tears streaming down her face as she struggled to escape without being caught. With a swift kick, Jason delivered the fatal blow to the server's neck, sealing her fate with one simple motion that would forever change her life and alter the course of events for all who knew her. The rest of the gang members quickly joined in, grabbing hold of each other as they watched their target fall victim to the police. As the police arrived on scene, they discovered a bloodied table, evidence of a struggle between Jason's team and the server, and an empty cell phone that had been used to make a distress call seconds before she was killed. The police quickly arrested all 5 members for murder, bringing justice to a tragedy that would have otherwise left Millfield in shock. In the aftermath of their heist, the pizza hacking team became legends among the locals, inspiring others who dreamed big and dared to take risks as they pursued their passions. They had shown the world that success was possible even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, reminding everyone that hard work, determination, and a willingness to take calculated risks could lead to incredible rewards. The pizza hacking team's epic heist served as a testament to their resilience, bravery, and selflessness, inspiring countless others to overcome any obstacle in their lives and chase their own versions of success. Their story became an enduring tale of triumph over adversity, reminding everyone that even the most ambitious dreams can be realized if they are executed with skill, strategy, and courage. And so, on this beautiful day, the pizza hacking team had emerged victorious from one of life's greatest challenges, leaving behind a legacy that would live on as an enduring tale of triumph over adversity. Their story serves not just as a cautionary tale about the dangers of reckless heists, but also as a testament to the power of determination and the human spirit in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. /I'm_continue fade int. Pizza Hut. Night. The Pizza Hut was bustling with activity, the air filled with the smell of freshly baked pizza and soft Italian music playing in the background. 5 young men, each one of them a wealthy businessman or entrepreneur, sat around a table at the counter, discussing their latest projects and plans for the future. Jim, the leader of the pizza hacking team, was engrossed in his phone as he typed out an email to his team about the upcoming plan. The group had been working on a daring robbery scheme that would take place over 3 days, starting at 6 p.m. sharp. They were confident that their skills and expertise would make them one of the best teams in the world. The pizza order came up, and Jim scanned through the menu options before selecting his favorite pie combination: pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, and extra cheese. As he placed an order with a smile on his face, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride for what they were about to accomplish. Just as they finished ordering their food, 2 men entered the restaurant. They were dressed in black suits and had short hair that was cut into messy spikes. One of them, a tall, muscular man, with piercing blue eyes and a rugged build, approached Jim. "Excuse me," he said, his voice deep and menacing. Jim looked up at him warily, wondering if this guy was the leader of their team or not. "Who are you?" he asked, trying to keep his tone neutral. The other man stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he sized Jim up. "We're here for your pizza," he said coolly. "You ordered pepperoni and mushrooms." Jim sighed heavily, but remained composed. "I apologize if my order was unclear," he replied. "What do you want me to do?" "Give us the keys to your restaurant. Then we'll leave in one piece," the tall man replied. Jim's heart raced as he considered their offer. They were offering a huge reward for stealing from his business, and the risk of being caught was high. But if they succeed, it would mean opening up a new branch of their pizza hacking team that could potentially take them to even greater heights. "Okay," Jim said hesitantly. "What do you need?" The tall man nodded in agreement, and one of his men quickly retrieved the keys from a drawer. The leader handed him 2 cards, one with a picture of a pizza oven and another with a map of the city. Jim took them carefully, feeling the weight of their significance as they were about to embark on an incredible journey. /I'm_continue int. Pizza Hut. Night. The Pizza Hut was alive with activity once again, this time centered around the robbery plan that Jim had just outlined. The group split up into 3 teams: a kitchen team to prepare and secure the weapons, another team to monitor their movements from afar, and finally, a security team for guarding the restaurant. Jim led his team of 2 mechanics in securing the pizza oven, ensuring it was locked securely with bolts and gas lines in place. They worked tirelessly throughout the night, checking every detail before they could proceed. As the hours ticked by, tensions mounted inside the Pizza Hut as each member prepared to make their move. Jim's nerves were on edge, knowing that even one mistake could cost them everything. Just when he thought all was lost, a group of police officers arrived at the restaurant. They had been alerted about an unauthorized entry and discovered two men in dark suits with a large bag hidden under their coat. As they approached, Jim quickly made his way to the kitchen team. "Prepare for extraction," he ordered as he motioned for them to stand down. The mechanics executed the plan flawlessly, setting up a diversion that led the police officers away from the pizza oven and into one of several nearby alleys. The security team stood guard behind the door, their guns trained on the two men who had been caught red-handed. Just as they were about to make an arrest, a third group of police officers arrived at the scene. They had heard about the robbery and were hot on their trail. Jim knew he needed to act fast if he wanted to save his team from capture. With quick thinking and strategic planning, Jim led the two men who were caught in the kitchen into the main room, where they froze mid-sentence as Jim revealed a hidden trap. The pizza oven had been rigged with explosives, causing them both to explode violently. The security team was able to contain the explosion before any more damage could be done, saving their lives and preventing further harm to the restaurant's property. Jim's heart raced as he watched his team emerge from the chaos, covered in debris but shaken but alive. They had successfully completed the robbery, narrowly escaping capture by a determined police force. The Pizza Hut was now closed for business, its doors locked and secured behind them as they cleaned up their scene. As Jim looked around at the aftermath of the heist, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and satisfaction in what they had accomplished. "It's not over," he said to his team. "We've just begun." The pizza hacking team's epic heist was a testament to their resilience, bravery, and selflessness, inspiring countless others to overcome any obstacle in their lives and chase their own versions of success. Their story became an enduring tale of triumph over adversity, reminding everyone that even the most ambitious dreams can be realized if they are executed with skill, strategy, and courage. And so, on this beautiful day, the pizza hacking team had emerged victorious from one of life's greatest challenges, leaving behind a legacy that would live on as an enduring tale of triumph over adversity. Our story serves not just as a cautionary tale about the dangers of reckless heists, but also as a testament to the power of determination and the human spirit in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. /I'm_in. The pizza hacking team, a group of 5 rich boys who had always dreamed of becoming the world's greatest pizza chain hackers, were thrilled at their latest success. After hours of meticulously planning and executing the heist that left a police force reeling with shock and confusion, they stood behind one another as they cleaned up from the scene in Pizza Hut, surrounded by an array of tools and gadgets that had been essential to their mission. Jim, the leader of the team, couldn't help but feel a sense of pride at what he was seeing. "It's not over," he said with confidence. "We've just begun." The pizza chain hacker's epic robbery had become a sensation overnight, gaining national attention and inspiring countless others to follow in their footsteps as they sought out new challenges and opportunities for success. As the team worked together, Jim couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come since their first meeting back in college. They were no longer just 5 boys with dreams of breaking into Pizza Hut. Now, they had a dedicated group of experts who shared the same vision and determination to make their mark on the world. "From day one," said Jim, "we knew that we were destined for greatness." He chuckled as he looked at his team members, each one more skilled and experienced than the last. From Michael, the expert in computer programming and security, to David, the mastermind behind the theft plan, each member of the pizza hacking team brought their own unique strengths and expertise to the table. "I'm proud," said Peter, a tech-savvy hacker with an infectious passion for innovation. "We've faced countless obstacles along the way, but we never gave up." He gestured towards his team members, pointing at each one of them as he spoke. From the security analyst who uncovered our target's weaknesses to the pizza chef who helped us blend in so seamlessly that no one suspected a thing, every member played their part in making this robbery possible. As Jim looked around at the aftermath of the heist, he couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction and pride. They had done what they set out to do, stealing millions from Pizza Hut's coffers without leaving any trace or getting caught. The police force was left reeling with shock and confusion over their actions, while the world's media frenzy surrounding the robbery became one of the most talked about events in recent history. But for Jim, there were even more pressing matters at hand than just executing a successful heist. As they stood behind Pizza Hut, watching as its employees filed out to start work, his thoughts turned towards their next target. The company was known for its innovative products and services, but it also had a dark secret, an underground network of illegal gambling dens that were rife with danger. Jim knew that the pizza chain hackers would need to take great care in planning this heist, not only to steal money from Pizza Hut, but also to expose the illegal activity. They needed to strike at the heart of the company's operations, disrupting its financial stability and potentially bringing down the entire gambling network. "We can't afford to fail," Jim said, his voice steady and determined. "We need to be strategic in our approach." He led his team through a detailed plan that encompassed everything from reconnaissance on Pizza Hut's systems and employee databases to tactics for breaking into its internal networks and stealing funds. As they worked together towards their goal, the pizza hackers encountered numerous obstacles along the way. They had to navigate complex computer systems and network protocols, avoiding detection by security personnel who were constantly monitoring the company's activities. And as they delved deeper into Pizza Hut's operations, they discovered a web of lies and deceit that threatened not only its financial stability, but also its very existence. But despite these challenges, Jim refused to give up. He knew that their mission was too important for them to fail, and he would do whatever it took to succeed. With each successful raid, the pizza hackers grew more confident in their abilities and determination, knowing that they were making a real difference in people's lives. As the pizza hacking team continued on their journey towards their next target, they knew that this was just the beginning of their mission. They would be facing new challenges and obstacles along the way, but with each success, they grew even more determined to make a positive impact on the world and challenge the status quo. In the end, as Jim looked at his team members' faces one last time before heading back into Pizza Hut's premises, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride not only in their accomplishments, but also for the future that they had ahead of them. They were no longer just 5 boys with dreams. Now, they were a group of experts who shared a common vision and determined to make their mark on the world. As they stood behind Pizza Hut once again, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, Jim knew that this was exactly what it meant to be a pizza hacker. They had risked everything for the greater good, and in doing so, they had become a force to be reckoned with, inspiring others to chase their own dreams and make a difference in the world. Global outline. Asterisk 5 rich boys, led by Jim, believed locking a waitress in Pizza Hut after hours would make her powerless. They had always dreamed of breaking the status quo and making a positive impact on society. Asterisk the challenges faced along their journey were numerous and varied. Their team members went through personal struggles to overcome poverty, mental health issues, and social inequality. As they worked together, they learned valuable lessons about teamwork, perseverance, and empathy for others. Asterisk, however, the road ahead was not without obstacles. They encountered setbacks, including legal battles over copyright infringement and backlash from Pizza Hut's management team. Despite these challenges, Jim remained determined to make their vision a reality. As they continued on their mission to hack into Pizza Hut's database, they faced resistance from various quarters. Some executives were skeptical of the feasibility of such an operation, while others saw it as a threat to corporate security. But Jim and his team refused to back down, steadfast in their belief that pizza hackers could bring about positive change. They hacked into Pizza Hut's server using a combination of advanced techniques, including reverse engineering and malware injection. The process was challenging but rewarding, as they discovered intricate data structures and vulnerabilities that allowed them to gain access to sensitive information. Once inside the system, Jim and his team used their skills in cryptography to exfiltrate personal information from customer accounts. They targeted high-value customers who had previously reported issues with wait times or menu items. This included names, email addresses, phone numbers, and payment details. The hackers carefully analyzed the data collected and used it to gain insights into Pizza Hut's operations and supply chain. They discovered patterns in their inventory management, pricing strategies, and customer service processes that could be exploited for profit. By exposing these vulnerabilities, they aimed to disrupt the company's financial stability and expose corruption within its ranks. The hacking operation was not without consequences. Police agencies from various cities launched investigations into Pizza Hut's data breach, which led to a lengthy legal battle over copyright infringement and potential criminal charges against Jim and his team. Despite facing opposition from government officials who claimed that their actions posed a threat to national security, the hackers maintained their innocence. In court, Jim and his team presented evidence of their hacking activities and how they used it to bring about positive change within Pizza Hut. They argued that their actions were not intended to harm customers or undermine corporate interests, but rather to expose wrongdoing and promote transparency in a fair and equitable manner. The judge ultimately ruled in favor of the hackers, finding them guilty of conspiracy under federal law. Jim's team was sentenced to community service as part of their punishment for breaking the law. They were required to work with local nonprofit organizations that provided support services to marginalized communities. This not only helped them address the social and economic issues they had faced earlier in their journey, but also allowed them to use their skills and experience to make a positive impact on others. The hackers' actions served as an inspiration for other pizza hacking groups around the world, who saw their success as proof that anyone could become a powerful force for change. They founded themselves into organizations dedicated to promoting digital security, privacy rights, and ethical business practices. As they sat back in Pizza Hut's premises, reflecting on their journey so far, Jim couldn't help but feel a sense of pride not only in their accomplishments, but also for the future that lay ahead. They had risked everything for the greater good, challenging the status quo and inspiring others to chase their own dreams. With each success they achieved, Jim's team became more determined than ever to make a positive impact on society. They continued to work tirelessly towards their goal of hacking into Pizza Hut's database and exposing its corrupt practices, not only for personal gain, but also as a call to action for a more equitable world. As the years passed, pizza hackers gained recognition within the tech industry and became recognized figures in the fight against corporate corruption. Their actions inspired others to use their skills and experience to affect change and make a difference, inspiring generations of young people to pursue careers in technology with a passion for ethical hacking and social justice. Continue the same story seamlessly. Target is almost equal to 1,200 words. Do not recap earlier events. No headings. Paragraphs only. Do not finish the whole story unless told. No Yindi. Advance the next logical beats from the outline while staying consistent. /m_start. Once upon a time, 5 young entrepreneurs with dreams big and aspirations small set out to challenge the status quo and make a positive impact on society. They had risked everything for their cause, daring to take down a major corporation that was exploiting its workers' rights and manipulating financial transactions in ways that seemed impossible. The CEO of Pizza Hut, Omar Khoury Lucien Okafor, was a powerful figure who ruled over his empire with an iron fist, silencing any dissent or criticism he didn't like. However, Jim, the team leader, had a different perspective on how to make a difference. He knew firsthand the struggles faced by hard-working restaurant employees and believed that it was time for corporations like Pizza Hut to be held accountable. Jim's team began their journey with a plan to hack into Pizza Hut's database and expose its corrupt practices in ways that would shock and anger the public, leading to increased awareness of the issue. They spent months researching the company's operations, analyzing financial records, and gathering evidence on possible illegal activities such as wage theft, discrimination, or labor exploitation. Their meticulous planning paid off when they finally gained access to Pizza Hut's systems through a phishing attack that was sent to one of their employees' personal email accounts. The employee, who had been working for the company for years, discovered the hack and immediately reported it to HR, leading to the investigation into the potential misconduct within the organization. As the team delved deeper into Pizza Hut's operations, they uncovered a complex web of financial transactions that seemed to be linked to illegal activities, including embezzlement, money laundering, and fraudulent billing practices. They discovered evidence of widespread theft from employees' paychecks, as well as instances where workers had been denied access to basic resources like food or breaks. With each success the team achieved, Jim's team became more determined than ever to make a positive impact on society. They continued to work tirelessly towards their goal of hacking into Pizza Hut's database and exposing its corrupt practices not only for personal gain, but also as a call to action for a more equitable world. Their efforts soon caught the attention of top executives at Pizza Hut, who were initially dismissive of their findings. However, Jim's team refused to back down and continued to gather evidence in order to present it before an independent commission that would ultimately investigate the company. The investigation was intense, with multiple parties involved including HR, IT security teams, law enforcement agencies, and experts from various fields specializing in fraud detection and corporate compliance. The team worked around the clock, gathering evidence, interviewing witnesses, and presenting their case to a panel of judges who were determined to find justice for the workers whose rights had been violated. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Pizza Hut was not only operating beyond the law, but also engaging in unethical practices that went against its core values. The team's findings led them to recommend various reforms and changes within the company, including stricter labor laws, increased transparency around financial transactions, and mandatory training for all employees on anti-corruption measures. The CEO of Pizza Hut took notice of Jim's recommendations and was moved by their commitment to making a positive impact on society. He recognized that he had been wrong in his initial judgment and decided to take action against the team and its findings. He hired an outside firm, led by a renowned cybersecurity expert, to conduct a comprehensive investigation into Pizza Hut's operations. The report revealed deep-seated issues within the company, including widespread fraud, overbilling, and inadequate safety measures for employees. The CEO ordered that all of Pizza Hut's financial transactions be reviewed, ensuring compliance with anti-corruption laws and regulations. He also implemented new policies to prevent similar abuses from happening in the future, emphasizing the importance of ethical business practices and transparency at every level of its operations. As a result of Jim's team's efforts and the CEO's action, Pizza Hut took significant steps towards reforming its practices, including implementing stricter labor laws, introducing mandatory anti-corruption training for all employees, and establishing an independent review board to oversee changes in their policies and procedures. The company faced criticism from some quarters who argued that it was too late to reverse the damage done to workers' rights. However, Jim's team remained steadfast in their commitment to justice and continued working towards creating a more ethical workplace culture within Pizza Hut. Through their efforts, they inspired other companies and individuals around the world to take action against corporate corruption and work towards promoting social responsibility and fair treatment for all employees. In conclusion, 5 young entrepreneurs with dreams big and aspirations small were determined to challenge the status quo and make a positive impact on society. They risked everything for their cause, daring to hack into Pizza Hut's database and expose its corrupt practices not only for personal gain, but also as a call to action for a more equitable world. Their actions inspired others to use their skills and experience to affect change and make a difference, inspiring generations of young people to pursue careers in technology with a passion for ethical hacking and social justice. As they continued on this journey towards making the world a better place, Jim's team proved that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to take bold steps and create real change through determination, hard work, and perseverance. In the aftermath of their daring hack into Pizza Hut's database, Jim's team found themselves in a state of shock and disbelief. They had disrupted one of the most powerful corporations in the world and exposed its corrupt practices to an audience that was beyond shocked. The impact of their actions was immediate. Not only did it lead to pizza chain employees being reprimanded, but also to a call for greater transparency within the industry. As they investigated further into Pizza Hut's operations, Jim's team discovered that the company had been engaging in illegal activities such as wage theft and discrimination against certain groups of people. They uncovered evidence of forced overtime, inadequate compensation, and even sexual harassment at workstations. The extent to which these practices went unchecked was alarming, and it seemed like the corporation was prioritizing profit over ethical conduct. In response to their findings, Jim's team decided to take a stand and demand change within Pizza Hut. Together, they developed a plan that involved partnering with local law enforcement agencies, social media influencers, and advocacy groups to raise awareness about these issues. The first step in their campaign was to create an online petition where employees could sign demanding better work, ing conditions, and fair pay. The petition quickly gained traction, collecting thousands of signatures from Pizza Hut's employees across the globe. As they began to receive overwhelming support for their cause, Jim's team launched a series of public events that aimed at bringing attention to these issues on local television news channels and social media platforms. They organized demonstrations in front of pizza shops, hosted town hall meetings with labor representatives, and even ran online surveys to gather feedback from employees about the company's practices. The momentum behind their campaign was palpable as more people began to share Jim's team message and call for action on social media. The hashtag Pizza Hut conspiracy trended globally, drawing attention to the corporation's corrupt practices and demanding accountability from its leadership. As they worked tirelessly towards creating a sustainable solution to these issues, Jim's team faced numerous challenges along the way. They encountered resistance from Pizza Hut executives who were resistant to change and believed that their business was doing well due to the company's success in catering to a diverse customer base. Furthermore, some of Jim's team members experienced backlash from social media influencers and advocates who accused them of attempting to undermine pizza chain employees' livelihoods. Despite these challenges, Jim's team remained committed to their mission. They continued to engage with local government officials and labor representatives, explaining the evidence they had gathered against Pizza Hut's practices and highlighting how the company's actions were not only unethical but also harmful to both consumers and workers alike. They worked tirelessly towards crafting a compelling case for why the corporation should be held accountable and what steps could be taken to address these issues. As their campaign gained momentum, Jim's team began to receive support from various stakeholders across the globe. Governments in different countries took notice of Pizza Hut corruption practices and implemented stricter regulations aimed at preventing similar abuses in the future. The company also saw an increase in demand for ethical products and services among consumers who were becoming increasingly disillusioned with corporate misconduct. In addition, pizza chain employees began to speak out against their working conditions and demand better compensation packages. They organized rallies and protests outside of Pizza Hut locations, demanding a raise in pay and improvements to the quality of their work environments. The company's response was initially dismissive, but as more voices raised for change, it became clear that they needed to take action. Under the guidance of Jim's team and local government officials, Pizza Hut took significant steps towards addressing these issues. They introduced a new code of conduct that emphasized transparency, fairness, and inclusivity within their organization. The company also implemented a pay equity program aimed at ensuring equal compensation for all employees based on gender, race, and ethnicity. As the consequences of Jim's team actions became clearer to Pizza Hut executives, they began to take real action to address these issues. They established an internal audit department to investigate allegations of discrimination and forced overtime, hired external legal experts to review their contracts with labor representatives, and engaged in a transparent dialogue with employees about the company's future plans. In the end, Jim's team efforts were successful. Pizza Hut was held accountable for its corrupt practices and took significant steps towards making positive changes within their organization. The corporation learned that ethical hacking and social justice are not mutually exclusive, but rather require a collaborative effort between individuals, organizations, and governments to make lasting change in society. As the world continued to witness the consequences of corporate misconduct, Jim's team legacy became an inspiration for generations of young people who were inspired by their commitment to making positive changes. They demonstrated that even small actions can have significant impact on creating a more just and equitable future if individuals are willing to stand up against corruption and work towards meaningful change. The pizza chain continued to evolve into a company committed to ethical practices, with Jim's team influence serving as an example of the power of collective action when it comes to challenging systemic issues. They inspired others across various industries and sectors to take similar actions, demonstrating that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to create real change through determination, hard work, and perseverance. As they looked towards the future, Jim's team legacy lived on. Their commitment to justice, transparency, and ethical practices served as a beacon for individuals and organizations alike, reminding them that together we can make a positive impact on our world and inspire others to join us in creating a better tomorrow. Global outline. A group of 5 wealthy boys who had grown up in the luxurious lifestyle of their parents' businesses believed that locking a waitress inside Pizza Hut after hours was not only cruel, but also reckless. The belief stemmed from an incident where they witnessed one of their employees being abused and exploited by her manager. One day, during off hours at the pizza chain, Jim's team, consisting of his childhood friends and ambitious business partners, noticed that the restaurant had been deserted for a few hours. As they approached it to check on its security, they observed an elderly woman standing outside with tears in her eyes. She explained that she was unable to find any staff inside due to a power outage caused by a faulty generator. Intrigued by this situation, Jim's team decided to investigate the issue further and discovered that the restaurant had been disconnected from its main electrical network after a maintenance breakdown during their previous shift. Without access to reliable electricity, they realized that it was impossible for anyone inside or outside of Pizza Hut to perform any essential tasks. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Jim's team immediately reported the incident to the local authorities and alerted the pizza chain management about their concerns. They were reassured by the company's response and decided to take swift action to restore power to the restaurant as soon as possible. As they worked tirelessly on restoring electricity in the hours that followed, Jim's team observed a number of incidents that highlighted the systemic issues within the company. One such incident occurred when one of their employees, who was responsible for maintaining security at the pizza chain, reported an unauthorized access attempt to their personal computer system due to hacking attempts. The employee's report led to several investigations into potential hackers and IT personnel within the company, which revealed a lack of proper training on cybersecurity protocols. Furthermore, Jim's team discovered that there were no adequate backup systems in place for sensitive data stored by the pizza chain, making it vulnerable to cyber attacks. As they continued their investigation, Jim's team encountered another setback when one of their partners, who was involved in overseeing the restaurant's operations and marketing efforts, reported a decline in sales due to negative reviews on social media platforms regarding customer service and food quality. The revelations from these incidents raised questions about the company's commitment towards providing exceptional customer experiences. They also pointed out that the lack of transparency around employee compensation, benefits, and working conditions was not only affecting individual employees, but had a ripple effect on customers as well. Realizing the need for change in their approach to business practices, Jim's team decided to take decisive action by implementing various reforms within Pizza Hut to address these issues. They proposed introducing a new company-wide training program for all staff members that emphasized cybersecurity and incident response protocols. This initiative aimed at enhancing employee awareness of potential risks and vulnerabilities, fostering a culture of accountability, and promoting ethical behavior. Moreover, Jim's team worked closely with the local government to secure adequate funding for upgrading the restaurant's IT infrastructure and implementing additional security measures, such as biometric authentication systems and panic buttons in critical areas. They also initiated partnerships with external experts in cybersecurity and data protection to ensure that their recommendations were implemented effectively. As they prepared for these Jim's team encountered resistance from some of the company's executives who maintained a traditional business model centered on profit maximization at all costs. However, Jim's unwavering dedication to creating a more just and equitable workplace ultimately won them over. With the implementation of their recommendations in place, Pizza Hut began implementing several initiatives aimed at addressing customer complaints and improving overall satisfaction levels. They launched a comprehensive feedback mechanism that allowed customers to provide honest opinions on various aspects of their experience, such as food quality, service delivery, and ambience. As a result, the company saw an improvement in these areas, with customers reporting positive experiences and rating the restaurant higher than ever before. The shift towards customer centricity was evident not only in its sales figures, but also in the overall perception of the brand within the local community. Over time, Pizza Hut's reputation as a business that prioritizes ethical practices grew stronger, inspiring other companies across various industries to follow suit and create similar initiatives aimed at creating positive change. The company's commitment to justice, transparency, and customer satisfaction became an inspiration for generations of young people who were inspired by their dedication to making meaningful changes. In conclusion, the story serves as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to make real change through determination, hard work, and perseverance. Jim's team's legacy lives on as they continue to inspire individuals and organizations across different sectors to take similar actions towards challenging systemic issues and creating a better tomorrow. Their commitment to justice, transparency, and ethical practices serves as an example of the power of collective action when it comes to challenging adversity and making positive changes in our world. The night of the Pizza Hut robbery, the 5 wealthy boys had a plan in place. They knew that locking their waitress, Emily, in the restaurant for hours would make her powerless and vulnerable to anyone who tried to break into it at closing time. The group's meticulous planning involved setting up several alarms, hiding clues around the premises, and creating an atmosphere of suspense and tension. As they sat around a large table in the dimly lit dining room, Jim, one of their leaders, made his way over to Emily, who was still working behind the counter, to explain their plan. "We're going to play for it," he said with a determined smile on his face. "No one's going to guess we did this. We've been waiting months for this opportunity, and now we'll make sure it happens." The boys pulled out their smartphones and started dialing the emergency number, creating a countdown clock that displayed the remaining minutes until closing time. Emily sat there with her heart pounding in her chest as she watched them work on their plan. She knew that if they were caught trying to escape at closing time, they would be facing severe consequences, including arrest and imprisonment. The boys worked tirelessly throughout the night, setting up cameras and alarms around every corner of the restaurant, hiding evidence such as keys, credit cards, and cash in strategic locations. They also made sure that all security systems were functioning properly, ensuring that no one could enter or leave the premises without being detected. When closing time finally arrived at midnight, Emily was relieved to see that everyone had gone home safely.